Okay, let's talk about items. Because I think when it comes to different gods and different games and all the hypotheticals, understanding the items is probably what's going to separate like the best players on launch comparatively to like the worst players. And I mean that in like a good mechanical player, if you're both perfect, the person with better items is going to beat you. You know what I mean? So there is some merit for understanding items. So I'm just going to go through them all and tell you what I think about them and talk about the new system as well. I think the new system is really important to think about. So first we'll just go through all these and I'll just talk about stuff. So Atalanta's bow is 30 strength, 30 attack speed. The big thing here is when you hit an enemy god with a basic attack, you gain 5% reduced basic attack movement, stacks up to 4 times, and so when you hit autos, you move faster. So you can kite a lot easier with this. Could be really good if you think if Hachiman gets added to this game, with extended rage being able to kite with this item is really good, and it pairs really well with katana. Because this, when you crit, you get MS. So this and this together means you are pretty much always Medusa. If Medusa's passive still stays in the game, it might be Fatalis effect on her. Really broken in certain comps, okay? Avatar's Parachute, it's just strength with an active where you get 20% increased strength. Haven't seen too much of this used yet. Maybe. You see the intelligence item version of this used quite a bit more. This one I haven't seen too much. 55 strength for 3k. I don't think that's cost efficient. Haven't checked it out though. One of the best items of the game is Bagua's Mirror, or Bagua Mirror. Awful naming. Honestly, all these items have awful names. But B Mirror, 85 prot plus strength and intelligence if you're taking magical damage. Okay. Really good item. Cheap item, Bella's Eye. It's magical pen, and the only option you have for magic pen, right? We go here, bang. It's, well, you know, it's 25 magic pen all the time. This is just CC, and this is stupid. Don't like that that's there. Baneful Rapier. 2400 means it's on the cheaper side of things, but it's only 20 strength. It's 20 crit chance plus 15% attack speed. This item would be better if the attack speed potentially stacked, but it's still pretty cheap with crit chance. Maybe it's pretty much the exact same as the Demon Blade that it's kind of representing. It's not too different. I still wouldn't get it in crit builds. I don't know. Stone of Binding is what this is. Bindings of Lingvi. I'm just going to call it Stone of Binding. When you hit CC, people are protection shredded, right? They're losing 15 prots of each for 4 seconds. Very good support item. Very good tank item too. Blink. Best items in one of the best items in the game. This is a combat blink on 3-minute cooldown. It gives you health, cooldown rate, and move speed. Even if they got rid of the cooldown rate on this item, it would still be very good. Bloodburn Book. I think this is really, really good. I think people are sleeping of it. This is essentially Smite 2's version of Book of the Dead. Once you get low, you get a shield that scales with your intelligence, plus it gives you lifesteal. Very good on Anubis. Probably really good on Kukulkan too, but we're not really building it. Bloodforged Blade, I think this is the first item on every ADC. It's incredibly strong. It's cheaper than the other lifesteal alternative, and you're able to use the active, which means that if you have Bloodforged Blade and the enemy doesn't, you will win the trade early on. Braggy's Harp, I really dislike this item. It's a hybrid item, and we don't have too many hybrid gods in the game that would benefit from this. I can see that they maybe thought it would be cool for Neith to have. I don't think it's cool for Neith to have. Cernanos is the only person that makes any use of this. And it's like a pseudo chins, but it's just ruined by the existence of something with 90 protections, essentially. So I don't really like it. Brawler's Beatstick, it's anti-heal. Very good. 5 mana regen, also good. Ronin's Pendant, pretty much the exact same, right? Don't need to go too far into it. Good item. Dagger of Frenzy, it's 30 strength with 18% attack speed. Everyone's buying this first, and I really dislike it. It's 2,900 gold. I don't think it's cost efficient at all. The only thing that's saving grace is that this cooldown is 50 seconds long. You gain 60 basic attack damage, right? Plus 30 is, actually that 30 attack speed is pretty big. 30% attack speed is pretty big. I still don't rate it. Really good for objective burn, and really good for chins plus pen builds though, I will say. Deathbringer is Deathbringer, right? 30%. 30%. 30 strength and 20% crit chance, plus your crits do more damage. Pretty simple. Death Metal, another hybrid item alongside Braggy's Harp, I really don't like. I have tried to use this on Neath. It's like an AoE steroid, so I guess you could kind of compare it to Frenzy or Girdle, but not a big fan. Divine Ruin is Divine Ruin with a little bit extra, more mana on it, some mana regen as well. Obviously, healing reduction on Divine Ruin is a staple. This one's a bit interesting. Dreamer's Idol is the intelligence version of Avatar's Parachute. I'm seeing this a lot more than this one. Obviously, because intelligence, there's a lot of 200 plus intelligence items in the game. Using this right before you ult as a mage, very big. Right before you combo, also very, very big intelligence spike, damage, DPS spike. Eldritch Orb, really good, just 145 flat damage. I'd like that they have an intelligence item that's big and it doesn't have this passive on it all the time, just 20% intelligence. The biggest blunder MOBAs do is that. Eye of Providence, I think it's a core staple for supports. It's just an extra ward, like an extra sentry ward. Very good item. Hybrid defense, has max health, has cooldown. Very good. Very boring item, Eye of the Storm is. It's probably cost efficient with all the stats it gives. It's a decent stat stick. You can build it in nearly any game on a solo laner, but it's just very boring. You know what I mean? Not very fun. But probably it's decent. It's like an 8 out of 10 item. Gem of Focus is broken. Absolutely broken. Buy this item on nearly everybody if they have any intelligence scaling, because it's cooldown plus move speed plus what? How much intelligence is it? 90 intelligence plus 9% move speed. Broken. Gem of ISO. Don't buy it. Don't touch it. Hand of the Abyss. This is the AP or intelligence. Sorry, I'm going to keep calling intelligence AP. This is the intelligence attack speed item that I prefer over these two. Very clear cut what it is. It's intelligence, it's attack speed, and then every time you hit something with an ability, you get more attack damage if you continuously hit them with an ability. Remember, it doesn't just stack up off attacks. You need to use your kit on a god or a jungle boss. Here, Helm of Darkness. I really like this item. This is really, really fun. I like it on support and or just tanks that are really obvious initiators. Things like Odin, things like Amir. It can be an alternative to Blink. If you want a bit more prot, I still think Blink is broken, obviously, but if that gets nerfed to the ground, sneaking in and engaging that way may be good. It does have a sound cue though. You aren't perma-invisible. People should know that you're there. Helm of Radiance is broken. Good bruiser item. People can get this in mid instead of getting Breastplate of Valor from Smite 1. This is kind of your go-to if you're up against like 2 AD in mid, like a Fenrir jungle with an Kernanos or an Arnher middle lane. Grab one of these and you should be okay. It's stacking protections if you're hit up to 5 times, right? 75 prot, 60 intelligence, very, very strong. Here, I don't like Hussar's Wings. There's a reason for it. It's decent hybrid prot, and I have said that I do like it into Chark, but that's literally it, and it's not AoE, right? It's a cleanse of slows. It's a cleanse of, like, slow immunity, like you can't be slowed. 10% MS. It's not AoE. Honestly, bump that cooldown up a little bit and make it AoE. Maybe I'll really like it. But anyway, we move on. Hydra's Lament. It's pretty much just Hydra's. The same old, pretty much Polynomicon for physicals. It's got mana regen, something that the game's lacking. But, you know, after using ability, your next basic does extra damage. Pretty straightforward. Jade Scepter. Pretty expensive item for 85 intelligence, 225 mana, 4 mana regen. And what it does is, I'll show you. It knocks back enemy people jumping on you. Let's just say Amir jumps on me or blinks. I'm able to knock back. That's not enough, in my opinion. That is not enough. Go back to the store. Get rid of that. So, Jotun's Revenge, really good item. 2,800. If it's 25, probably 10 out of 10 item, but because it's 2,800, it's a bit 8 out of 10. Yeah, once you get a kill, this is the big change, okay? Once you get a kill or assist on someone, your cooldowns get reduced. So it's like Spear of Desolation, but the physical version in Smite 2. Leviathan's Hide. This one is really, 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 really strong, okay? 65 Fizz Prots, and enemies who hit you with basics lose 5% strength. 5%, right? Not just flat 5, but 5% of their strength for 4 seconds, and it stacks up to 3 times. So if you're an Odin into a Bologna lane, you might want that. If you're support into a couple ADCs and a Bologna, you know, auto attackers, that's your item. Next up is the Dagda's Great Club. So it's 20 strength, some HP, and 20 cooldown rate. It's pretty expensive, but it is really good because the passive is when you hit people, it's pretty much Glad Shield, right? That's how I'd explain that. They take a 15 flat amount, but 30% of your item protection is a bonus physical damage. It is able to be reduced by armor and physical protections. Why? And it's pretty expensive, so I'm not really like rating it too highly, but it's okay as like a 6th slot, 5th slot. Meteor Hammer. People are rushing this on Bologna. Very, very frustrating. It's Golden Blade. It's 20 strength, but with max HP and not berserkers, and 15 attack speed. So it's pretty much the same item here, Dagda's, but not on abilities. This is on auto attacks, and it's an AOE. Very, very, very frustrating, right? Musashi's Dual Swords is 20 strength, 20 crit chance. When you crit strike, you gain MS. It's 50% of Baneful Rapiers. You know, you get attack speed, here you get MS. That's what Shadow Blade used to be, or whatever. Not Shadow Blade. Wind Demon used to be the Star. So they've split it up into 2. Very good. Necronomicon. I don't know. This is like the most pub stomp item I've ever seen. 45 int and 20 cooldown, but don't let that fool you, because every time you get a kill or an assist, you get 50 plus intelligence. So that's 150 plus 45. That's pretty much 200 intelligence on an item. But the drawback is, if you have it fully stacked, you are 0 protections, essentially. You are minus 60 protections. Yeah, very pub stompy. Probably insanely good on someone like Anubis, where they can also get Blood-Soaked Book. But I don't know if we've... yeah, here, Bloodbound Book. So you do have a shield. But moving on. Obsidian Shredder. We are all going to call this Titan's Bane. Essentially, what it is enemies that are hit by your abilities, they lose 1 per level. Physical prop. So it's 20. At the end of the game, they're losing 20 prop. Not a big fan. 45 strength. Nearly 3 grand. Useless. Not useless, but not that good. Phantom Ring. It's Phantom. Believe it or not. It's 300 max health, 25 cooldown rate, 2400 gold. This is actually really sleeper. I'm not going to lie. Really sleeper. No defense on the item, so you have to kind of get your defense somewhere else. But there are plenty of options to just get flat defense around. But as you can see, the active being Phantom, allowing you to walk through player-made walls. Right, very good. 1 minute cooldown, very broken. No shielding effect. You have to remember, no shielding effect. Barrett's Curse, this is kind of like a weakening curse. So 45 protection, 10%, not 10%, gotta get out of that, 10 cooldown rate, and then enemies that are pretty close to you have 25% slow, 25% attack speed for 6 seconds. Now, it is a 40-second cooldown, so use this every time it's up, essentially, is what my advice would be. Use this all the time, box with it, be annoying with it. It's pretty much a 30-second cooldown after the effect's over, so use it a lot. Phoenix Feather, really fun item, in my opinion, as a solo laner, even as a support if you're up against a couple mages. It's magical protection, it's max HP, but the active is that flat 300 is really nice, but 30% of your missing HP. Okay? Now, it is a long cooldown, but 30% of your missing HP means you're able to use it whenever. It's not like in the last 10 seconds, if you've taken damage, you have to use it. It's just your missing HP. That's it. So use it when you're low, and it's pretty much an entire second health bar. Very, very strong. Poly, that has to be a bug. Oh, it is. I was like, there is no way Poly is that cheap. Alright, Polynomicon. Nearly 3k. I bought it yesterday on Kukulkan and it felt useless. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like it at all. Even with pen. This item is really, really strong in my opinion, but Poly is meh. 75 int, nearly 3 grand, 2800. I don't really rate it too high. But, you know, can be fun. Chin's Blade, one of the best, not one of the best, maybe the best item in the game, right? Yes, it's $3,000, but enemy god tip by your basic attacks just takes 6% of the max HP. That's it. Just bang. Straight up. 10 autos and you're dead, no matter what. No counterplay. It is physical damage, so actually, never mind. There is counterplay. You can build a lot of armor, but 6% of your max HP. That's ridiculous. All the time. Very, very rough item to be versing. 18% attack speed's a huge amount too, for something with so much offensive capabilities. Next up, Amanita's Charm. This is the mushroom. You put a mushroom down, it heals everyone for 5% of the HP. It's a 35? Am I trolling? 25% heal, essentially. So, tanks get more HP than squishies, but it's pretty much a med. Putting this down in teamfight can definitely pop off. Here, Ruinous Ankh. This is very, very slept on. It's just a stat stick with anti-heal on it, 40%, and all you have to do is be close, and not even close. So, what is it, 8.8 meters? That Amir might not be getting hit. We can see here, this is 8 meters, this gray, so we'll just say it's 9 meters. So where that 9 meter line is, as you can see right here on my mouse, that is everyone being anti-healed all the way around. All those Amirs anti-healed, everyone anti-healed. Strong item, buy it. Buy it, buy it, buy it. Into Neath, into Anubis, into Chark. Buy this bloody item, please. Scepter of Dominion. This is the black hole, the stasis, okay? Low stats, but a low cost. I would rate this item if its effect was halved, like its cooldown rate was halved. Because what happens is, I'm going to buy it and show you. You put down a zone, and then after 2 seconds, this zone will activate, and everything inside will be stasis. So put it down, bang. They're immune, no one can hit them, nobody can do anything. But look at that cooldown, massive cooldown. Fun item though, very fun. Definitely buy it. I see points of this in sieges. I see being able to put a siege down on your bird or an enemy bird is so strong. Stops siege potential so easy. Cool thing for supports to have for fire giant fights as well. To shut down an entire zone of a objective. Very strong. Now, Screeching Gargoyle. Haven't used it. I think this looks like shit, so I haven't even bought it. I can't tell you anything. Serpent Spear. 30% physical pen. Obviously, it's a great item. It's the only fizz pen we kind of have in the game. Not much to it. Shogun's Ufuda. Now, 60 match prot, and then everyone around you gets 20% attack speed. And look at the range again. 8.8 meters. Pretty much from here to Amir. You know what I mean? Massive. It is from here to Amir. Massive range on Shoguns. Buy it. Very cheap. The only issue is, I'm not seeing many Guardians or anyone that does magical damage in solo lane, so it's weird to buy this. Silken Mail Coat, I think this is really, really strong. Once again, massive radius on its passive. From me to that Amir bot, I'm going to stand here because this is 8.8 meters. From here to that Amir bot, he's going to be getting hit by this. So, if you're that close to me, so you're in auto range of an ADC, you are losing 20% attack speed and 20% critical strike. All the time, right? The chance, not the damage. Very, 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 very strong item. People need to be getting this too, into crits. Now, Soul Devourer, or Sobek's Head. It's just Soul Reaver. Low wind, kind of, but mana regen's really strong with it, and then 15% of current HP as magical damage. I like it. Obviously, it's a good anti-tank item. It fits into most builds because of the MP5. Nice, very clean. Stampede, it's prots, physical prots and health with a sprint effect. Very good. I think it's fun. I think it's really good. If you have no idea what to do and you want some more fizz prot, buy Stampede, have fun. Sunbeam Bow, we'll talk about this a bit later. I think it's a good item, but we'll keep talking. Emblem of Namaka. This is Shell, essentially. With cooldown rate. I didn't know that this item had cooldown rate. This is actually pretty decent as well. Very cheap. Man, all these active items, they're insanely cheap, and they all have max HP plus cooldown on them. Support's kind of broken right now. Very cheap items. Another one. Finally, a support item that has prots and is an active. So it's magical prots, Talisman of Purification, gives you some HP, and then it's an AoE cleanse as well. So 6.4 meters. So this one is quite shorter. We'll move back here. This grey circle here. So it's a decent amount of space. Now, Tokagagi. One of my favorite items in the game. Every time you use an ability, you move faster. Pretty simple. Buy it. It's great. Very, very good. Obviously, buy it on strength-based characters. If you want to have the int version of this, it is Gem of Focus, which is right here. Use an ability, move faster, get more power, get more cooldown rate, sorry. The int one gives you more intelligence, but this one doesn't give you more strength. Because you're getting 50 strength off the bat. That would be broken if it gave you more strength. Next up is Executioner. 2,700 for 10 strength is nuts. It's absolutely nuts, but it is 40% pen. It just sucks that its stats are so bad. You're paying for 40% pen right here. I might do a cost efficiency breakdown on this and see how much it costs. But anyway, the names, 250 max HP, 150 max mana. I've been rushing this on support. I think it's actually wrong to rush this, funnily enough. It is just Gauntlet of Thebes. That's it. It is 40 of each prot, so maybe I am correct in rushing it. Quite cost efficient. Very, very cost efficient. The only thing it doesn't have is that doesn't make it as broken as Gauntlet of Thebes is the HP 5 sustain. So you don't have much sustain if you are rushing the Nemes. Next up, the Reaper. I think this is overpriced. If this passive did have strength on it, I think it would be well priced, but 45 strength and 15% lifesteal for $3,000 essentially isn't it. When you hit an enemy god below 50% HP, you gain 15% lifesteal. So it's 30% lifesteal, but it's not good enough. Next up, the World Stone. One of the best items I think they've ever added. I reckon it's probably an item that doesn't have much impact, like stat-wise. Like, I reckon the amount of times that it's been bought versus the effect that it's had in that game would be some of the most inefficient stat ever. But it's fun. It feels good to, like, I'm going to buy this and I'm going to ult all the time. But we're probably not ulting all the time. But still buy it. It's fun. Totem of Death, 20 int, 15 cooldown rate for 3,000 gold. But when you hit someone with an ability, you are gaining 10% pen. So it is 40% pen as well. I don't like it. It's less pen than Balor's Eye. Right? And no max mana. You could. It's not less pen, sorry. That's completely wrong. Well, I said less int, but it's the same amount of int. I've been brainwashed. See, it's good to read through this. This cooldown too. I think unless you're Kukulkan for the mana passive, Totem of Death might be it. Especially if you're a low cooldown god. I think that's the big thing. Low cooldown. Because 50% pen, very strong. Zeus, if you're playing AP Zeus, would definitely proc it, maybe. I don't know who else procs it. 5 times, you have to hit the entire kit for 50% pen. Anyway, Triton's Conch, 55 intelligence with some HP, with some mana. You and your allies gain strength and intelligence per level. I haven't seen... I have seen people build this in mid. I see it as a support item. But I could see a disgusting meta of like Athena jungle whipping this one out. But you know, it's a aura that gives everyone power, so it has to be broken. Probably continue to not build it because I think if too many people build it, it's not going to be fun for anybody. Anyway, Wish Granting Pearl, 2,500 just for stats. Bad item, I will say. 2,500 for just int. It's not even that much int. It's only max mana, and it has no effect. Like, if this was 55 int, 400 max mana, and 10 MP5, maybe. But, like, it doesn't do anything. Very meh item, in my opinion. And then Yogi's Necklace is just HP, mana, and regen. Use this if you want to stay on the map for a while. With SMITE 2, I don't think you need to stay on the map. Anyway... That was the first half of it. We will go up here and talk about some of these items because that is broken. 1,000 gold, the 200 max HP, and that passive, that is broken. This is also broken. A shield. Oh, it was only 100 HP. All these T2 items, I'm telling you that they're all absolutely busted. Apart from like Kopesh. This is good. Honestly, I've been looking for Castus in a tier 3 aspect. So this is Spirit Robe essentially. So if you want Spirit Robe, there you go. Just grab that, okay? And then don't finish it. You don't have to finish it, right? Just grab it. Oracle Staff, I think, is pretty strong as a stat stick. It's just 25 int, mana, and regen. If you're having mana troubles, grab an Oracle Staff. And then other than that, Olmec's obviously broken. Yeah. We'll move on. We'll move on. So I want to talk to you about the new shop, right? How things build into each other. You know, this is HP, and then all of a sudden it builds into this. Okay, so you're paying a certain amount of money for a certain amount of flat stats. So you're paying $450 for 10 strength. And it's very even and across the board, and something that's been missing from Smite for so long. Because what this does in like a standpoint is it gives us cost efficiency. Okay, so if we're building strength and we buy the axe, it's 450 and you only get 10 strength. That means that one strength is for 45 gold, right? Pretty simple to break down. And I'm not going into it in an alpha because I think that's ridiculous. But as someone who, like, with an analyst mindset, you can see how cost efficient items truly are based on the gold per stat that we're now given from these tier 1 items. So, item cost efficiency, ICE for short. We look at Sunbeam Bow, it costs 2,500. You get strength and attack speed. The cost of this much strength, 55. So it's 55 times 45. Bang. Attack speed, we come up here to attack speed, 70 for 5, or 70 for 1, sorry. That's how much attack speed is right there, 18 times 70. If we were just going to buy these stats, 55 strength and 18%, that's how much it would cost, 3,735. Which means that Sunbeam Bow is 146% cost efficient, right? Which means that the stats that you're getting for the amount that the item costs is 46% discount, essentially. So I'm excited for this, obviously, and I'm sure a lot of analyst people out there that even think about the game are excited for this. The one thing I do want to note, when it comes to cost efficiency, and we've seen it heaps with DPS calculators and stuff like that, people will have, you know, if we go back to Smite and we pick, let's say, the Reaper, when you do a cost efficiency thing with the passive effect, people will get tied up in when passive is actually go online. This is like 700% cost efficient. And then that ruins an entire DPS calculator, and people have just like, you know, Ornate Arrow with max stacks is actually the best starter item because it's the most damage. But the fact is, in a MOBA, everything is ever changing and context matters a lot. So, for example, if you can back and just buy 2 axes, like, it's fine. It doesn't matter about cost efficiency. I'm telling you, like, cost efficiency only matters when you look into a vacuum of what's really, really, really OP at the highest level. Because if I have full build and I'm sitting here missing everything, it doesn't matter if my build order is, like, efficient. My build order is, like, the best because I fucking suck anyway. So don't worry about that stuff. That's just something that I'm keen to see evolve. And hopefully more people in the scene evolve about it. But anyway, that's the items.